Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope that you and your family members are in the best of their health. Today, we will discuss the malfunctioning of kidneys and their treatment. These topics are taken from page number 12 and 13 of your textbook. One of the consequences of kidneys malfunctioning is the formation of kidney stones. These are the large crystals of salts which cannot pass through urine and form hard deposits. The main function of kidney is to remove nitrogenous wastes and salts from the body to form urine. Sometimes kidneys cannot work efficiently and the salts accumulate in the kidneys and form stones. They may travel to ureter and urinary bladder. The causes of kidney stones are the excessive use of calcium salts because calcium salts make kidney stones. If we take more uric acid, there is less uptake of water and more use of green leafy vegetables and excessive consumption of vitamin C and D. The formation of kidney stones disturb normal functions of kidney and causes severe pain at kidney and lower abdomen, vomiting and frequent urination. Kidney stones are aggregates of crystals. They may be formed in one or both kidneys and classified according to the specific type of crystals they contain. They are of five major types. Number 1, calcium oxalate. Number 2, calcium phosphate, struvite, uric acid, and cysteine. The most common of them are calcium oxalate. The question arises how the kidney stones are formed. In the first step, ions such as calcium or oxalate filtered by kidney in high concentration spontaneously join together to form solid crystals. These crystals grow in size and stick together very quickly to form large aggregates and finally hardens to make stones of various composition. These stones retain in kidney until for unknown reasons it is displaced and come into ureter. The result is pain and obstruction until the stone passes slowly to bladder. Keep one thing in mind that the treatment of kidney stones depends upon their size. The small size stones can be removed through urinary system by drinking more water, whereas medium sized kidney stones can be removed by a technique called lithotripsy. The machine used is called lithotripter. It involves the bombardment of shock waves. These shock waves are also called extracorporeal shock waves because these are given outside from the body. They break the stones into pieces which are passed through urine. It is clear from this diagram that the focused shock waves from lithotripter breaks down the kidney stones into small pieces which are passed out of the body through urine. The large size stones need surgery for their removal. Treatment depends upon the type of stone. Small kidney stones can be flushed out by drinking plenty of water or through medication. Your doctor may prescribe medication to relieve pain. Corporeal shock wave lithotripsy may be recommended to break down medium-sized stones. The location of the stones can be determined with the help of ultrasounds or X-rays. Using a device called lithotripter, high energy shock waves are bombarded on the stones. The shock wave will vibrate and break the stone into pieces without harming the body. The stone fragments can easily be passed out through urine. For larger stones, surgeons recommend surgery. The complete or partial failure of kidney to function is called kidney failure. Its main causes are long-term infections like hepatitis and AIDS. Hepatitis is the inflammation of liver. For example, hepatitis B and C. AIDS represents acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It is caused by human immunodeficiency virus, also known as HIV. This virus destroys white blood cells and results in loss of resistance against infections. Another cause is diabetes mellitus, which is also commonly known as sugar. This is a disease in which sugar level increases in blood. Other causes are hypertension, generally called high blood pressure, and renal failure can also occur due to sudden blockage of blood supply to kidney after injury or trauma to abdomen. The main symptoms of kidney failure is high level of urea and water in blood, which causes vomiting, weight loss, frequent urination, blood in urine. Renal failure can be treated by dialysis, but dialysis needs to be repeated after every few days and is unpleasant for patients and attendants. Another treatment for the end stage kidney failure is kidney transplant. The cleaning of blood by artificial method is called dialysis. It is of two types, hemodialysis and peritoneal dialysis. Hemodialysis is more frequent method. In this type of dialysis, a dialyzer acting as artificial kidney used to filter waste and other fluids from body. It contains long tubes, the walls of which are semi-permeable. As you can see from this diagram, that the blood of patient is passed through these tubes. When the dialysis fluid flows around the tubes, extra water and waste from the body moves into the dialysis fluid. The clean blood is returned to the body. It is done in dialysis center 3 times per week. These figures represent the exchange of materials between dialysis fluid or dialysate and blood of patient. In first figure, it is clear that the fresh dialysis fluid is continuously added while the used dialysate with waste is removed. In second figure, dialysate is represented by blue color. The pores represents the semi-permeable nature of dialysis tubing. Through these pores, the large proteins and blood cells cannot pass, whereas only the waste products are moved from blood to dialysis fluid. Kidneys are essential for human survival as they are vital organs. They produce urine by removing excess water and waste, produce hormones, regulate mineral level and blood pressure. They make vitamin D and maintains pH of blood. Every day, these vital organs filter blood. If one or both kidneys fail, it becomes a serious health problem because excess water and waste from body metabolism can no longer be filtered out of blood to prevent accumulation of toxins. The cleaning of blood is done by dialysis. The widely used method is hemodialysis. Dialyzer acts as an artificial kidney and filters blood. Inside the machine, blood flows in tiny tubes surrounded by dialysis fluid called dialysate. The walls of the tube acts as semi-permeable membrane, allowing only small molecules such as water, nitrogenous waste and electrolytes through osmosis and diffusion. Dialysis fluid contains solutes that are at the level similar to that of healthy blood. Urea, potassium and other solutes present in higher level in patient's blood moves out of blood into dialysis fluid through diffusion. The dialysis fluid is constantly replaced and discarded, and at the same time, fresh dialysate is continuously added. Another treatment for the end stage kidney failure is kidney transplantation. Patient is known as recipient because it takes kidney from healthy person. The healthy person is known as donor. So the replacement of patient's damaged kidney with a donor's healthy kidney is called kidney transplant. Who can be the donors of kidney? The donors of the kidney may be alive or deceased, a blood relative, or any other close relative. Did you know people with kidney transplant tend to live normal than people on dialysis? Kidney transplant is the closest thing to have a kidney again. In kidney transplant, the diseased kidney is replaced by healthy kidney. The transplanted kidney takes over the function of failed kidney. The transplanted kidney lifespan is on average 10 to 15 years. During this duration, dialysis is not needed, and you can feel like return to a life before failure. So, where do the kidneys for transplant come from? It comes from blood relative or close relative. Medical tests tell if they are the good donor for you or not. If they are, this is the quickest way to get a working kidney. The golden rules to keep kidneys healthy are: eat healthy, drink more water, control blood sugar, exercise regularly, monitor blood pressure, and don't smoke. The assignment is you have to write two notes on your need sheets that are: write a detailed note on kidney stones, what is dialysis, describe its mechanism. This is the last lecture of this phase. Inshallah, we will continue the lectures after Eid holidays. May we all get maximum benefits from the blissful moments of the last Ashra of Ramzanul Mubarak and spend our maximum time in Ibadat. Thanks. Allah Hafiz.